This is an entire gathering about people putting their art, their music, their film, their ideas out. It's just people, curious people wanting to learn more, do more, and make the world better.
I'm just really excited to be here and take it all in. It's got some funk to it. It makes sense that we're here.
You can feel this energy. It's fun, it's nerve-wracking. This is a huge deal. I hope that it gets people talking but not saying too much.
I'm here for the movies, but I'm also here to see some music.
You can come and draw for yourself the knowledge that might be empowering to yourself, but not stay in your own area alone. I want to know what is the newest invention that is on the ground, and I want to listen to music and to dance to it if possible.
We can't give up.
Objects in the environment. And so, let's say I say Wabado, and it's sort of an interaction, and this interaction is a success if you look where I'm sort of pointing you with that word. If you don't look there, I know that I have to change my internal representations, and that's exactly what's happening.
That's our song today. So that was like a really brief presentation of our current tool. This is a proof of concept model specifically for South by Southwest. So don't think that this is the only possibility that we have right now, but I hope you are excited as I am.
When you walk into a conference room and you're in a meeting and somebody's drawing these app designs on a whiteboard and sometimes on a piece of paper and elsewhere, and then what we do is we take a picture of those images and send it across to the designer to create an HTML prototype out of it.
In fact, this is something that we've been doing for quite a long time, and it's really hard to break this and say, hey, how can we do this differently? How can we speed this process?
Right, and that's exactly where Sketch2Code was born. Sketch2Code is a web-based application which converts hands-drawn diagrams into HTML code base. So once you have drawn these wireframes on a whiteboard, you can take a picture using the web app, and then the web app would send that information to the AI service. AI service then runs those images against a pre-built AI model, and then creates an HTML code base followed by a resulting app.
Every year in Trends, we look for a meta theme that spans all of them. And frankly, if there wasn't one there, we wouldn't talk about it, but there is a really clear one this year. And it has kind of two angles to it. I would say that the big thing we're seeing is people searching for value. And we're seeing this with organizations who are looking at the innovation they've been doing over the last 2 to 5 years in response to the digitization of the world. And they're saying, what are the things which are providing us with value and what aren't? Where exactly is the value in what we're doing? And how can we zone in on the value by, for example, combining strategic thinking with human insights? And then on the other side, we're seeing customers, citizens, users looking for where is the value in the data which I'm being asked to give up? Where is the value for the environment and the products and services that I'm using? People globally are trying to understand why they are relevant and to find those anchors which make them feel relevant in the world. And the winners from the organizational point of view are going to be those that provide to their customers, their citizens, a sense of relevance. And if we can tie those together, that's where I think value can be created over the next 1 to 5 years. What I find really exciting is when you put together a lot of the trends and look at them in overview this year, the opportunities for design to really revolutionize a number of areas are probably greater now than I think I've seen them for many years. And I think we're on the cusp of almost a creativity revolution. And I think we're going to see that play out over the next 2 to 3 years. And that's super exciting.
In the 1950s, when there were really 3 media channels that you could do advertising on. There was print, radio, and TV. And the creative team was a writer, right? The writer was a creative team, and downstairs there was this art director coloring in the ads that the writer came up with. And so ads looked like this. They were very, very editorial. They were very descriptive. They were basically illustrated pamphlets. And then this guy called Bill Bernbach came along in the late 50s and had this idea. And what's interesting about what Bill Bernbach did was that this was the last time that someone thought about how to design a team, right? Because what he did was, he did this amazing innovation. He brought the art director up from downstairs and paired them with the copywriter. And so you got the atomic team. This is what spawned the creative revolution and the Mad Men era. And the ads that came out of that were sort of sublime. There was this wonderful work that came out of a Bernbach's agency like this, the VW work. And if you look at this print ad, it's beautiful. And the thing that you notice about it is that the copy and the art are so enmeshed, you can't take one away from the other. If you took away the picture, the ad doesn't work. If you take the copy away, it doesn't work. There's this symbiosis, right? Because of this invention this guy came up with, which is we're going to put these two together. And so this was a formula, and it still is a formula for most traditional advertising companies. You've got art and copy, and between them, they create this story, this intriguing story with an interesting tension and symbiosis between these two things.
What we're getting is patterns of electrical activity. And kind of based on 30, 40 years of neuroscience research now, we can then correlate these different patterns of activity with different states of emotion and cognition.
One night of magic rush, the storm is simple touch. One night of ocean and then 10 days of...
Hello, everybody. This is quite an honor to get to be on stage here with Roger. Roger, as many of you know, is a legendary Silicon Valley investor. He's in the game for 35 years, saw many of the most important deals in Silicon Valley history take place. Early mentor to Mark Zuckerberg. And as some of you probably know from the title of his most recent book, he has turned into something of a critic of Facebook, an extremely articulate, smart, helpful critic. He also played a lead role in a cover story I wrote with Fred Vogelstein for Wired last year, tracing the evolution of Facebook.
The most important thing I want to do is I want to have a national debate as part of the 2020 election cycle on whether or not it should be legal for companies, any corporation or anybody, to do commerce, either by selling, trading, or even acquiring our private data without our explicit permission for that transaction. So why is it legal for credit card processors and banks to sell our personal financial transaction records? Why is it legal for cellular companies to sell our location? Why is it legal for companies that make apps for health and wellness to sell or trade our health and wellness data? Why is it legal for anybody on the web to transact in our web history. Why is it legal for anybody to even collect data on kids under 18, much less sell? I want to have that conversation and that debate. I want to find out where the lines are. My simple point is, Apple's a big company. I was not expecting them to take any risk on stuff at all, and I'm happy they're doing so. And I look at this today, and if you have an Android, you really got to ask yourself, I mean, why? I get that the camera is better, okay? But take the SIM card out, right? If you want the camera, God bless. But seriously, why would you open yourself up and walk? I mean, you're basically taking your data and handing it out to everybody you meet. I mean, it's nuts.
You're going to end up, that little clip is going to appear in an Apple keynote speech sometime in the next 3 months.